DJ Monte Carlo.
We're back. We're back. We're back. Welcome, everybody. Episode 18. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for even hanging with the kid, checking up on the kid. Thank each and every one of y'all, man, for allowing me to take a break. A 2-week break as I worked throughout the Indianapolis 500 here in Indianapolis, man. It was a great event. I worked for 2 weeks there. Also trained early in the morning right before I went to work, man, and did other things in between that time. I got to see my son graduate. He's now a high school kid. He's going to be a freshman. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks off, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get this show on the road, man. Shout out to Team Penny. Shout out to each and every one of y'all, man, that hung out with the kid, man, for the other episodes. Now we're back bigger than ever. Man, y'all can't wait. I can't wait. My guest coming up today. Woo! We got a banger today, y'all. We got a banger. Oh my goodness. Again, shout out to each and every one of y'all, man, that was checking up on me, making sure I was good. I even poked my head up in a few people's lives throughout the week just to make sure, let them know I was good. Man, this is going down, man. I'm gonna catch y'all up. I'm gonna catch y'all up real quick, because I'm so excited to introduce my guest today. Yes, I was gone for 2 weeks, working for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I do this every season, every race season. This is my 8th year. I want to say 8th year. Working for a great company, a great company, and in between the 2 weeks, I got to see my son graduate. I got to cook for a couple clients, and I DJ'd during the Memorial Day weekend. So action pack. Oh, I hit the gym every morning. I was in the gym every morning, make sure my health is good. My sleeping routines is straight, so I got everything on out the way, man. Thank y'all, man. Okay, no further ado, we gotta bring my man on. It's gonna be crazy, man. I got this West Coast vibe going on. Sacramento own. My goodness, this guy started out his days on Nike Talk. When we talk Nike Talk, you're an OG. You're a triple OG. You feel me? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Man, I just want to bring my man on right now. Everyone, please, this is episode 18. If you haven't been following this guy for a long time, like we have, and enjoy his knowledge, enjoy everything that he does as far as like the broadcasting side, editing side, working for Soul Collector, working for different companies. And he's bringing such man amazing things to the sneaker culture. And he has a brand new show, the Sneaker Game. Everybody, welcome Nick DePaula, y'all. see if I can bring him in. Bring him in. Hey, there we go. There we go. There we go. Let me fade this out. Let me fade this out. Yes, yes, yes. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. My box actually looks pretty good. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but
all right, that's what's up, man. You good? You good, man? Let me fix mine. I know my big head is is centered now. Okay, all right, man. This is amazing. Thank you for even coming and showing the kids some loves. And Team Penny, thank you for doing this, man. As we come back for another episode for 18 episodes, yeah. That's kind of catch everybody up. That people that don't know you or know who you are, I would like to yourself to let everyone know who you are, man.
oh man, I mean, I've been writing about sneakers for probably 15 plus years, and like you said, it started on Nike Talk, and really kind of shifted over the years from there to Soul Collector for like 7-8 years, Nice Kicks for a couple of years,
Right.
and the last 4 years now with ESPN. So it's been an amazing ride. I always joke. I think until my grandma saw me on the jump, she probably didn't think I had a real job. But
Yeah.
to be able to say I write about sneakers and just obviously still watch the game and just being so passionate about hoops, it's been pretty awesome for sure.
Oh, that's great, man. So let's hop in it. What was the very first sneaker that caught your eye and made you fall in love with sneakers?
I actually let me go grab them real quick. 1 second.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. You started off with some heat. Let's do it.
This might not be heat to everybody, but that's why I was going to grab them. The Thrill Flight.
Woo! Whoa! Big talk right here.
This was the first shoe that got me into shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a print of like the original, magazine ad with the Zoom Flight 95. My brother got me a Zoom Flight 95 painting for Christmas one year, and this was the first shoe. I was 10 years old, and I was just like, what is that? That was the first shoe I knew, somebody designed that. There was just more to it. It looked so futuristic. Still futuristic 26 years later, and Jay Kidd was always one of my favorite players, and so that was the shoe he wore.
That's what's up, man. I too have a story with those Flight 95s, man. I also played in those during my middle school 8th grade year. So that's a sneaker that cherished to me and you both. So that's what's up, man. What was the very first sneaker that you bought yourself?
Well, so that's what I was gonna say was, as you know, a little expensive. So that's why I got the Thrill Flight instead.
Okay, yeah, I did that.
The Thrill Flight was my first pair of Nikes. It wasn't until later when I was in college that I got the Zoom Flights. But the first shoe I bought with my own money, I actually was just boxing them all up because I did an interview with Hypebeast about them. But it was the red Hyper Flights. So I got behind me, but the red one was the first one. I think I pre-ordered them on eBay like 4 months early, thinking they were going to sell out. Obviously, it wasn't necessary, but I just love that shoe so much. It was, of course, Jason Williams' shoe. That was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I had the red pair because our high school colors were red.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What was the sneaker culture like growing up in Sacramento?
It wasn't really much. My best friend, Austin Hicks, he was always getting eBays. He had a lot of heat. His older brother, Elijah, had a lot of heat. So that was really like my first like visibility to people that had all kinds of cool shoes. And we would go to the mall like everybody else to check stuff out. But really it was reading eBay, reading Slam, and just seeing stuff there. And then once Nike Talk came about, that's when you actually got more knowledgeable and were meeting people from around the world that also knew all about sneakers.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing, man. Okay, speed it up to your college years, working or coming from Nike Talk and doing a lot of editing work and putting a lot of work, and then end up getting a job for Soul Collector. A lot of people wanted to know, man. How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. We got to write about sneakers for 7 years, so it was a great ride. I got to interview all kinds of cool players and designers, and that was always what I dreamed of doing. I read the first issue of Keak's magazine back in 1998, and that was like the first thing that sparked my interest to want to write about shoes, and was able to pull it off. Steve and Alex, the guys that founded Soul Collector, they great foundation of celebrating sneaker culture and telling all the best stories around the industry.
Oh man, I salute you and each and every person that has to do with that creative space of a group of people that put a great magazine for us to even read each and every release. So I've owned maybe 4 or 5 issues, man. Especially I got two copies of the Penny special edition. So so speaking of Penny, let's get into Penny's legacy as far as going into a player coming out of or going into retirement and with of getting blessed with the job of coaching, man. So tell me, like, what are your thoughts of his legacy going into coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I was 6'3" in the 7th grade. So Penny being the height he was, that was one of my favorite players. Just the way he played, the way he passed. He just made the game so fun. I think that was the thing that immediately gravitated everybody to him, right?
Right,
It,
right.
the game was fun. The little Penny commercials were fun. Like he was just so like youthful and excitable. So that was the first thing. And then the shoes were incredible. I mean, the stuff
Oh man,
Eric Avar, just like the wings that all the shoes had and how much they stood out on the floor, how much they flowed, how wavy they were. It was super unique. You know, a lot of the Jordans were like really kind of classy and more upscale, I guess, and the Penny
yeah,
were always like more fun and more lively in that regard. So the shoes were the first part. And then if you look back at like that 95-96 season, like he was first team All NBA his 3rd year.
yes, the 3rd year, yeah.
And they're in the finals like the year before that. So it's like,
Hmm.
as a player, I put him up against. I mean, if he had a full career of being full health, I mean, he's one of the all-time greatest point guards. And from the amount that I saw, even if that was like a 4 or 5 year small window, I mean, he's still right there. So I think that's the piece coaching wise that makes it great. Is he's from Memphis. I was actually able to go out there for 3 days. This was, I guess, the fall of 2019, and watch him in at practice. James Wiseman was on that team, all those
Yeah,
guys. And we kind of rode around all through Memphis, and he was telling me about just like the park he grew up in, and then obviously playing at school there, and then now being the coach. So to see it come full circle is great because, it's not about having the most high-profile job. It's not about having, I guess, the most. He doesn't want to necessarily be an NBA coach. He thinks it's cooler to give back to where he's from and mold, and give advice to kids that grew up like him. Like some of those kids on the Memphis team are from the same neighborhood he grew up in.
yeah.
Kind of hearing that part of it was pretty cool.
Oh man, that's great, man. And seeing his growth as a coach from coaching the middle school team,
Yeah.
grabbing 2 chips from East, and then going to the other high school and actually follow the kids that actually coach for the first 2 championships, and then going to their high school, coaching their high school, and then actually recruiting a couple of them to the Memphis State. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. His story is amazing, and it's amazing. We're just it's folding all in front of us, man, and it's great, man. So tell me, like, you actually seen the ESPN 60 E60 that they presented for his history, as far as like going into a player into a coach. What was your thoughts on his documentary?
Yeah, so I actually went out to Leicester Middle School back in 2011. So I think that was right when Nike was working on the Zoom rookies
Mm-hmm.
and the Penny Fives, actually, which people didn't really know the Penny Fives were coming at the time, which
Right.
is cool. So Mark Dolce, who was a designer, I would go along and just like shadow them, and we'd go to Penny's house. They'd talk about the shoes. And then I think he had like a 2-hour window because he was like, hey, I definitely want to meet and give you all the feedback I can, but I got to go coach the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Out of here at a certain time to go coach the kids, and so it was cool because he literally was pointing to the house that his grandma lived in that he grew up in, basically, and it was just down the street from the middle school. So I think that was always the thing for him. It was like the family connection, and also knowing he's like one of the biggest people from Memphis that made it, and not just living in Miami or LA or somewhere, but actually going back into Memphis and giving his time is more valuable than just the money. So seeing him coach, and obviously I think the thing you got to point out is like the connection that him and Dez had and why he started to coach the team in the first
Yeah.
place. And unfortunately passing away, but him really trying to honor that legacy of Dez's along the way too. So I thought that was a great piece, and that was something that in all the projects we did with him, we always wanted to touch on the Orlando era, but we also wanted to really highlight the Memphis stuff because we knew that much to him as the NBA chapter did.
All right, but yo, that's amazing story, man. How you guys was able to even follow him throughout his difficult stages, and then his height of his his basketball career, and going into high school coaching as well. So, man, RIP to Dez, man, and congratulations to all the players that actually played from the middle school to the high school. And man, let's get into the Soul Collector event. Let's fast forward to that. Like, a lot of people don't know that you actually was involved with the event.
So I'm glad this is like the way the boxes are set up, because basically right under the box I got all the samples right next to me.
Hey,
so this should be fun. This should be fun. So so really it started though with the issue 25 you mentioned. Mm-hmm. So that was our 5th anniversary issue of Soul Collector, the fall of 2008. And we were switching the website colors at the time, and we wanted to kind of, obviously we were asking Nike what could we do to celebrate the 5th anniversary. And Dolce and a guy named Marcus Smith, they were like, well, we could give you a collab, but it would only be like friends and family. And so usually friends and family is like 100 pairs. They gave us 12 pairs. We were like, we'll take it, So we got 12, and that was this gray and neon one.
Woo!
So that was the gray and neon Soul Collector. It was funny because I know at one point, I know all the different sizes that were made. So when Tiger got a pair, I was like, all right, I knew exactly where he got that 14 from. But it was funny because this was a shoe that at the time, we basically switched our colors for the website from the two-tone gray and neon, which was inspired by the Air Max 95.
Yeah.
Steve, the founder of Soul Collector's favorite shoe. So that's what the colorway came from, that we switched the colors on. And then we also were just looking at it like, let's do a color block. Like, I think a lot of the things we tried to do in terms of collab was, let's do a color block that's never been done before. They were doing a lot of like black with the white wedge, some white colorways like the Atlantic, some other stuff. But we just thought when we were coloring this one up, like, it's never really been done where you got like that much color accents in terms of the liner. This is like a 3M. And then obviously the the neon outsole. So, so this was a fun one. That was the starting point. And that was the first one where I think part of it is if you do a collab, you got to do something that people also think is fresh, so then get another one. Yeah. So that was a key factor. And so Penny loved them, and everybody was excited about them. And like I said, there was only 12 pairs though. So, we had them, and that was exciting, but it wasn't something people could get their hands on. So the next stage of that was we knew in, I want to say like early 2010, we knew they were coming up with this idea of the Zoom Rookie. And if you remember, of course, the Rookie was the Flight 1.
The Flight 1.
And then the LWP. Mm-hmm. So these were like the 2 size 9 samples from back in like 2010 of the LWP and then the Flight 1. Yeah. And so that led to the Zoom Rookie, which kind of combined the two, had the Foamposite in there, before yellowing a little, so you could barely see the 1 cent logo. But this was the Soul Collector one that we did as part of that pack. And originally, I think I posted actually, there's like a mock-up that we worked up for I don't know if you remember the old Orlando Magic warm-up jackets, but they were like, all blue with black. They had the pinstripe.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Actually, mocked up a LWP and a Flight 1 that was more so inspired by the flight jacket. I have a separate Instagram account called NDP Feed, and there's like some samples and stuff on there, and I have the mock-ups on there, so you can check that out. But that was the idea, and then they decided they weren't going to bring out the LWP and the Flight 1 like really that big. Instead, they were going to wait and like delay it. So we scrapped which worked out great because we scrapped the collab on the Flight 1 and LWP, and instead they were like, we're gonna do a Zoom Rookie.
Yeah.
Steve, I got to give all the credit to Steve from Soul Collector, because he was really big about like, why not ask for the most crazy thing you could ever ask for in that first meeting, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of doing the Zoom Rookie, he was like, well, there's what, 4 penny shoes and the foams, right? And they were like, yeah. He's like, what if we did a pack of all of them?
That's how it came about? Wow.
Let's do a pack of all of them. We'll do an event in Las Vegas. Penny will be there. We'll have Wale perform. Like, it was just like, you know, every step of whatever you could throw at the moon. And they looked us dead in the face. They were like, well, you know what? We don't have the molds for the penny 4s, but we could probably do all the rest of that.
Snaps.
So we were, oh, like,
wow.
All right, like, you know, let's go. So we basically, like, that was during a lunch. We came back the next day, sat at Mark's desk, and colored up all the shoes. And so we came up with that whole, we call it the Orlando pack, but it was all basically like flips of the original black Orlando colorways that were orange with white accents.
Right.
So we had like the penny 1.
Oof.
Right? So the penny 1.
Whoa. Wait a minute, real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, give me some flames in the chat. Flames in the chat, bro. Whoa.
I guess, you know, one of the things we always tried to do with a lot of the collabs too was like try to add some kind of a different detail or some kind of touch that was like something elevated that would take it beyond. You know, I should have said this earlier, but like one of the coolest things that came from our first interview with Penny at his house in 2008, which was like, I could have retired the day after that and been good. Like that was 2008, 13 years ago. That was the coolest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, because at the time, if you think of 2008, like there wasn't that many colorways really coming out of stuff. And it was a lot of stuff and then some like House of Hoop stuff. And I was just like, yo, like what's the colorway they haven't done that you would want to see on the foams? And he didn't hesitate for a second. He was like, copper like a penny. I was like, oh. And so I told the team at Sportswear, and that's when they did the copper foams. So it was like, came straight from Penny. I don't know how many people know that, but like sometimes colorways, you know, people at Nike and the designers, like they come up with some of the ideas, but and the coolest thing to me about Penny is he's like super involved, super hands-on, and a lot of the ideas come straight from him. And so that first copper foam was like on the spot. Like I asked him and he was like, oh, copper like a penny, like immediately.
Yeah.
And so that's
man.
And so back, a lot of the different shoes, they all have like a really like brushed copper like touch to it.
Yeah.
So on the 2, it's on the tongue. Here it's on the 1 on the toe. And so that was something we tried to add. And then the right shoe has the S, the left shoe has the penny logo, the 1 cent.
Right.
Logo as many places as possible. We wanted to really be like a split of both. That, you know, you want to honor both the Soul Collector team, hopefully, and then of course the 1 cent logo. So that was a great one.
All right, real quick. I know we did our Nike presented us the Arrival pack with that blue penny 1 close to that colorway.
With the stripes, yeah.
Yeah, with the stripes. What is the chances of we getting that penny 1 right there?
So this is
even though if it doesn't have the S on the back.
Yeah, that's how this always goes, right? So at the time, we did 300 pairs. So not this Zoom Rookie, but the one that had the silver spheres, and then just the royal tongue. We did 300 pairs of those, and that's what released in Las Vegas at the event. And then we did only 25 packs in the crate.
25 packs, yeah.
All numbered, obviously that being his college number was 25. And so we did 1 at 25, and Penny got number 1 with it being, you know, number 1.
Yeah, of course.
I think Penny got the only size 14 pack, and then the rest was all up to size 13. And then they ran 5 extra packs for Zach, Steve, and I from Soul Collector, and Mark Dolce and for Gentry, who was in Sportswear at the time. So there's only 30 of those, you know, of those Soul Collector pennies from that pack. And so that was like crazy because, you know, obviously it was pretty rare, but it's got the S logo and like all the different details. And so we always joke because, you know, we never did like an official contract. We literally were just always coming up with stuff on the spot and doing all these events. And it was, you know, amazing to work on that stuff. But Gentry and Dolce, they were like, well, since we did that pack and they were so limited, like, we won't do that. We won't release any of those from that pack. And it was like kind of like a word thing.
Yeah.
Dolce went to Adidas, Gentry went back to Jordan Brand. So like, I think it was 2015 or 16 when the black and royal Penny 2s came out.
Yeah.
That was basically the same color from the pack, but it was a different team that was working on those. So, you know, and I'm not like, some people get all mad if something comes out that was close to what it was. And I'm not really like that. I'm just like, you know, it's great for people to appreciate and celebrate it again, even though it's
Respect.
not. So I don't know. I could easily see one of those coming back.
Yeah.
Like, one in particular would work great. And they did, they basically did the same color block of the blue ones, but with red, like the Treadwell colorway.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that, who knows, it still could come out. But, you know, at the time, it was only the 30 of each. So it was pretty limited.
Yeah. I do have to let you know that a couple of members of Team Penny, some of them are in the chat, they own a couple pieces from your Soul Collector collection. So, yeah, man. Yeah, so you seeing a couple of them saying they have a piece or two. So
Illuminati got a size 12. Okay, that's one too. And that's the thing. It's like there's probably 3 size 12s that were made.
Wow.
You know, 3 or 4 tops in that size, because we did half sizes. You know, or no, I'm trying to think. It might have been whole sizes only from 8 to 13 in terms of the packs. But that's the exciting part about collecting, right? It's like knowing you got something that's rare and you could appreciate it. And I thought that was always the best thing at Team Penny. Like, we started doing 1 cent Tuesdays back in the day on his birthday. And then from there, it was every Tuesday. And fun community. Like, I see Sneaker Dave in here, you know, so that was always the exciting.
Salute.
I do want to, I got a couple more to show you if that's cool. So, so then we did the 3.
Oof.
So the 3 had the copper. And this is probably, I wouldn't say everybody's favorite penny is the 3. Like, that's probably not everybody's favorite, but this is probably my favorite of the pack. Because they were just like such a different color block than everybody else. I thought the way the white wing was really awesome. These had the S on the outsole. I've worn these a couple times. They're getting a little yellow, but I just thought this one was great. And then I actually have this, I got one of the samples of the 3s.
Whoa. Yo, that's fire.
This one we were mad because the heel was silver. They messed it up, and so we had to make sure they got it right with the copper for the final one.
Yo, that's crazy.
This was one where you know, sometimes leather doesn't look great in color. It looks better in like nubuck.
That's true.
All these we changed it up. I don't have I was looking through a bunch of boxes like 20 minutes before this, but I have samples and a couple other samples too. There was one that looks like Wizards colors almost, because it was like too much gold. So did like 1 round of samples, and then we were actually at Penny's agent's house in Miami. He was doing his final meeting on the Zoom Rookie, but then we were going through all the samples for the pack stuff as well, and then he was feedback on everything. So that was pretty cool. And so this is probably the best one. So the one that he loved and I loved, I think it might have been too good for them to put in the pack, so they ended up switching it. But it was the gloss foams.
Oof. Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute.
So the one that was in the pack
that's fire.
Yeah, so the one that's in the pack is the matte foam. Kind of unique at the time, because a lot of the foams, like the red and the eggplants, you know, they always kind of have that gloss. And this was the gloss sample. They don't have the S on the heel, just the 1 cent. And there's only one side. I just got the left shoe, but this is a side. And this was always like I wanted the pack so bad. And then I also the original foam that we wanted to do in the pack was Sharpie foam.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
what's up.
And they were like, we can't do the Sharpie in the pack because there's only 25 packs. They wanted to save the Sharpie for the bigger moment.
Right.
And the Sharpie in the obviously the dual box set. But these ones came out pretty sick, and this is one of my favorite ones.
Woo-wee.
But that's a good one. So, and it's cool looking at like I have an original. This is an original size 14 foam. And like this, this is like way glossier than like, you know, the original foams.
It is.
So they were pretty fresh, but unfortunately it did not come out. So that was tough. But that was the thing. Like back then, you know, you would sample stuff up, you check out like different materials, different textures. You would switch stuff up, and then, you know, once it came down to the crate, like everything was hopefully super exciting for everybody that was there. It's crazy because the event was like, I want to say October 29th of 2011. So we're coming up on the 10th year anniversary.
11. Yep.
Oh, but you know, everybody that was at that event, like it was awesome. I mean, just to love everybody showing Penny, like just, I mean, there was a guy named Edward Spencer who was like from New Jersey. He was like front row with the Pro Cut jersey on, like,
yeah,
like guys you've known from Nike Talk for years, and they just all had that love of Penny, and it was great. And that was also the event when Gentry like unveiled the Galaxy foams like a little too early, because you know, that was the Orlando February All-Star of the following, you know, 2012.
Yeah.
But that was the fun of it, right? It was like there were so many people passionate about Penny at that time, and obviously still are now, that loved his sneakers. And for Penny, that's always been the coolest thing too, because, you know, he obviously understands that his career was cut short, and you know, wasn't, you know, he would have been a Hall of Famer, no question about it, had he had a whole career. But he's always been awesome because he's like, you know, I understand that my window was short, but the fact people love my shoes so much and always show me love all these years later, he's like, there's nothing that beats that, you know?
Oh, great, man.
So he's so appreciative. And like at that event, it was pretty cool because, you know, there was so many people there that were showing him love.
Yeah, I have another member of Team Penny. He was actually there. My man Z, he was the one that was holding up the Penny doll.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so Z, he holds a special place in our hearts, you know what I'm saying?
I think we had, I want to say there was like a capacity of 500, and it was just like, you know, immediately sold out, and people just came from all over the country. We had a guy that came from Paris and a couple guys from China even. So it was amazing to see happen. And that was always the, I would say, most exciting part about Soul Collector, and things we always tried to do is just, you know, you got people that are loving sneakers and into this culture from all over the world, and bring them together and just like have that one moment for a night to really, you know, just share that love of sneakers, and hopefully a player like Penny's on hand for the event, and that makes it fun. So that was a cool one. It was stressful the weeks leading up to it because you never know how it's going.
I bet.
But it worked out great, so we were all excited for sure.
All right, now you guys also experienced Penny actually inviting y'all guys to his home. Yeah. Like, were you a part of that too?
Yeah. No, I was.
Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta tell us about it, bro.
Let's see. I went in 2008 and got to see everything he had, and then in 2011 when he was working on the fives and the rookies, and 2011 was cool because it was. I'm trying to think. Oh, and then we went again. 2012, he was working on the fives. 2012 was when he was working on the fives. Yeah. He had all the Soul Collector shoes on display. He had like the crate right when you walk in the house. Like, it was sick. So, because, you know, sometimes you don't know if they're going to appreciate it or not. And obviously he did, which is cool. But yeah, he's got like the coolest thing that he has, not even shoe related, is and he's moved since, so I don't know his new house, but he had like a theater room, and basically, you know how some movies, like, I mean, obviously we don't have a movie theater in our house, but like some people that are rich, they got like all the classic movie posters and stuff, like, you know, lined up on the walls around it. And he had every single Navy jersey from the 96 Olympic team, all autographed, framed from every single player. Like, just around the walls of the whole, it was the coolest thing I've seen, you know?
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Played in the finals. Like, he was just always saying how, like, being on that 96 Olympic team was like one of the basketball highlights of his life. And so, you know, having all the jerseys that he had and just how much he appreciated that moment was awesome to see. So, you know, stuff like that, because I'm into sneakers, I'm also into jerseys. Like, just seeing guys and players that, you know, that hold on to stuff like that, that's really makes it that much cooler when you know how much they appreciate it too.
Man, that's what's up, man. Let's get into more recent things that's going in the sneaker world. We just got news that the Air Penny 1 Orlando is coming back next year. What are your thoughts about that? I know all of us, we're excited. You know?
They're over here from, what was that, '06, the last time they came out or whatever?
2011.
Was that the last time?
Yeah, that was that one. Very last time, 10 years ago, basically.
I was thinking of like the Knicks, the cool gray, like the white, all that stuff. Yeah.
Allegedly.
But
Shout out to Sneaker Day.
like they did a nice job, but I remember commenting on, I forget if it was a shoe game or it might have been Bubbles' account, but it's like we need to get the all white home colorway, and then they got like bigger size airbags too, because the 2011 one, the airbag was kind of small, so I was just like, they came out solid, but I think it would be great if they had like a little more 3M pop, and then also we'll see what they do with the airbag, but it's like that shoe. They've done some cool House of Hoops colorways and some other limited stuff, but I would love to see. I can't believe they haven't done the all white one still.
That's what's up. Yeah, I know. We're waiting for that joint, man. We are so waiting for that. Let's get into the culture of.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just get into the state of the culture right now, where a lot of people want to name or give I want to say the trend that foams are dead, slowing down on the releases because they was pushing out so many foams during 2 or 3 years ago. So there was like a foam every month or every other month. Yeah, so they're slowing down, and now is the trend that foams are dead, which it's not true. It's not true at all. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's always people that say everything is dead. Like people say Jordan 1s are dead, people say sneaker culture altogether is dead. Like I never really thought about it like that. Like I like shoes that, I like for certain reasons and that are personal to me, and that's what it should be about. So if you're a guy that loves Foamposites, like I still wear Neon Royals, all kinds of foams just because.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Like there's going to be, I think for every shoe that you think is an amazing shoe, like they're going to keep releasing over the course of the time, like every handful of years and even as much as once a month. And sometimes it's going to feel like it's way too many colors. Like I remember being a Zoom Flight 5 Zoom Flight 95 loyalist when they did like the navy white and orange and like the black and yellows and like the tan colorway. Like I didn't really like them. And at the same time, like that's not going to kill the shoe for me on the colors I love. So I think that's always the best way to look at it. It's hard to, I try not to get too negative about stuff, like and like or take it like way too seriously, where it's like they killed the shoe or whatever, So I think that's probably the best way to look at it.
I've been to the DMV a couple times over the years. That culture over there they have for the love of foams, from Baltimore to DC, like they really impact and embrace the foam culture. There's always NYC. There's no other where they can transform a Nike boot or a foam boot and wear it yearly around. You know what I'm saying? And this is the fact that you do have certain cities that actually embrace it. You do have certain cities that just don't even get them. They don't see them. So that's another reason why a lot of people soon to try to say or try to start a trend that they're dead, but they're far from it. Like, let's go into today's NBA players with the trend of PEs. Speaking of trends, who are your favorite players, man, to see coming on court?
Oh man, I mean, of course PJ, right? Because it's
of course PJ.
I've gotten to know him, like, fortunately or whatever, over the last couple of years, just with him, just that much more raising the bar every season. And it's like, there's stuff sometimes that he'll send me a photo I've never seen in my life. I've seen a lot of stuff over the years that, never came out, or maybe there's one pair of, or was like a concept shoe, and he's got stuff that like, even like Leo Chang one time, like was confused about like a certain KD4.
Yeah.
Something in my life. Like where, I don't even know how I got these. So, I think there's stuff like that where, he has such a passion to it. And that's the coolest thing for PJ or about PJ with me is like, he's like that top 1 percentile of Nike Talk, like level knowledge. Like he's not just doing this for the recognition or whatever. Like he really loves it that much. And he knows all the stuff that, you could possibly know about sneakers too. So that was probably the coolest thing. I think guys like DeMar DeRozan, even early 2010s like Nate Robinson, Nick Young, Derek Williams, they were wearing great stuff. So I mean,
Right.
there's always guys that, I think some players think it's cool to have hype stuff, and that's not really what excites me as much. I think there's guys that really know, the ins and outs of what's rare or what their favorite player wore or what's fun to track down, and that's what makes it fun for me.
Right, man.
I gotta give Josiah a shout out because he mentioned Langston Galloway, who I can't believe I
Langston Galloway, yo.
a shout, because Langston is the thing I like about Lang is so his college roommate actually lives like almost next door to Mark Dolce in New York.
Oh yeah.
Both like crazy about sneakers, and we're all size 13s, and so we all trying to stuff like seeing who could get what. And whether it's like Gloria Zoom Generations, just like, the earlier mid 2000s type samples, like tracking down all kinds of cool stuff like that. Obviously, with him being on the Suns now, he's been just getting all kinds of cool Steve Nash and, also like Chris Paul type PEs that are probably a little more obscure to most, but that's what makes it fun. So he's been breaking out. Like I think he wore CP 22s the other night. He's worn like some old Steve Nash. Even like some 2000, I think it was 2005 All-Star Game shoes. So he's been breaking out all kinds of old stuff. So I would say Lang and PJ are actually at the top. I feel bad about it first.
What are your let's go back to Penny, man. He's our guy, man. Again, man, we do this show, man, every Tuesday. Or at least I try to do this show every Tuesday for a 1 cent Tuesday, and try to keep his legacy alive, and also school some of these new cats that's into the game, that's into foams now, or into Penny and want to know more about him, and want to know what's like some of your favorite moments as far as like on or off the court of Penny, as far as any favorite plays you ever seen him do, or just something amazing story that you have.
So the flight ones that he wore in the finals, you got to remember. I mean, I'm sure obviously we're probably the same age around.
Yeah.
We didn't have HD TV back then.
Right.
So like having a shoe that actually stood out on court and looked totally different, like it was pretty rare. I mean, Zoom Flight 95s are one of those, Concord 11s, like Shake and Destruct, Airmore Up Tempo. And I would say the flight ones, like all in that 95 era, like those handful of shoes that like on TV you'd be like, well, what is that? And so that white, black, blue when he was wearing it, this color in particular, like it just looked crazy on court.
It really did.
And so that was probably his first shoe where I really like took notice to it. And I think there was like a photo of him I saw where he had on Jordan 9 PEs, and that's when I was like, oh wow, like because having a Jordan PE was like unheard of. Like that was him, Kendall Gill, BJ Armstrong, a couple guys like Mitch Richmond, like that was the first batch of guys that got a Jordan PE.
Yeah, true.
That was crazy too. And then there's one play in particular where he does like a reverse hop dribble and like step back against the heat, and he's wearing the foams.
Yeah.
Like win. And I remember, there's like some AI moves and obviously some J Will moves and some J Kidd moves, and like that was the one of Penny's moves that I remember like trying as a kid and not being that smooth with it and all that. So that was, to me, that was like his kind of signature move at the time that, even people nowadays still talk about as being so fresh when he pulled it off. So it was sick. And he had the foams on, which was that much better because it's crazy. He didn't really play games in the foams that much. He at the Garden against the Knicks, and then he was hurt, quite a bit that next season. So it's the foam games are actually kind of rare, but to me, that's for sure the one that sticks out.
Yeah, let's go back to the flight ones, man. Classic silhouette, far as like the history behind it, because not only he graced the floor in the finals, also he slam dunked on Sam Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yep. I was at that game, crazy. And the legendary Michael Jordan graced the floor with the all black and white one. So like, that I definitely agree. That sneaker does so much for like his legacy and the sneaker community. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite things about when we went to his house for our first interview, which was in that issue 25 of Soul Collector, is, him talking about pulling up to game 3 against the Bulls. They're in, you got to think they're in the playoffs at this point, and they're the first team that beat the Bulls, since they started winning titles with Mike.
Yeah.
He walks on the floor and didn't know Mike was going to wear his shoe. How crazy was that, And then hearing him talk about how they were trying to get Damon Wayans or Chris Rock to be the voice of Lil Penny.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Damon Wayans and Martin.
Yeah.
And then it ended up getting Chris Rock, and obviously Chris wasn't even that big at the time, so it was stuff like that was pretty cool to hear firsthand. And I think that's the thing that was unique to Penny, the commercials, just everything around him. He was kind of the first superstar after Jordan had already set the bar for what it was to be a superstar, and in terms of sneaker marketing and everything too. And so it was cool, kind of, because he was kind of just took it to a fun level with it.
He really did, man. He really did. Okay, man. We're already completed our 10 questions. Now we're going to our speedy round. We done a speedy round where it just be versus questions or just one-word questions. All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's go.
All right. What is your what is your favorite player right now, athlete or any of any kind?
You know what? I think I'm gonna say KD.
KD?
I love watching him play. The way he just could score from anywhere and handle at his size. I've never really seen anything like it. I mean, obviously, Dirk, he says Dirk before in terms of the tall guy that could shoot, but there's nobody else him. And then the way he came back from the injury, sometimes you never know what to expect off of Achilles.
That's what's up.
Nets team they got a lot of firepower. They're fun to watch. So I would say him and Steph, both of those guys, it's like watching a video game sometimes. So current guys, I would say those guys. I mean, for sure, Jay Will and Jay Kidd. I always liked passers, so those were my guys back in the day. Okay,
well, speaking of the Kings,
yep.
Who is your favorite King player of all time?
That's
all time.
Easy.
That man right there.
I got Mitch over here, and then I got and C Webb is probably that's the trio, I guess, of the great Kings for me. So, that was our only sports team growing up, and obviously my favorite team. My favorite color is purple, all that. So, but Jay Will, to me, it was a whole different creativity to the game. I was in 8th grade his rookie year. Basically, everybody in Sacramento throws the worst, craziest passes ever because of him.
Because of him.
All goals from high school games because of turnovers and just, stuff we couldn't pull off. So it made it fun. That was quite the 4-year run in Sac at that time. So it was pretty crazy.
I'm pretty sure you was into games during the 90s growing up. Video games, NBA Live versus 2K.
So
which one you go with?
I have a Super Nintendo in my living room. I got 2 games on it.
Mm-hmm.
NBA Jam and NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
That's crazy.
5 games.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't actually play video games a bunch growing up. We just always, played ball. So, but those are my 2 games for sure. And I just realized I do have the old arcade marquee behind me framed. That was a cool birthday gift from my buddy Jeff. So
that's what's up.
That's my answer.
All right. Well, let's get into some pennies. Okay. Penny 1 versus penny 2. Which one are you going with?
I'm going penny 2. It's kind of there's no wrong answer really there.
No, it's not. It's not.
I'm going penny 2 because to me the Atlantic colorway was incredible.
Right.
Every original colorway was amazing, but just that was to me when he was already a first team star,
mm-hmm.
Coming off the Olympics and just kind of where he was at as a player and everything. To me, it was like the next Jordan at that point. You can't really replicate the stardom that he had at that point. And then obviously I got to show these again. I'm biased because I got this one. So.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to see if I had I have one penny 2 sample that's there's a lot of it's got a 3D part printed on the side. It's not even a true. You can't really tell, but this thing weighs 5 pounds with this 3D part. And then I was trying to find other samples because you got the half cent, which this was a sample half cent, all black.
Whew. Is that carbon fiber?
It's not a real carbon fiber. You can kind of see.
It got the effects.
They had some different, like, it has a different, like, you know, little penny logo, and it's got,
Whew.
the wing is actually a little different than, you know, than how it was. But yeah, this, I have the Z core for the Zoom Rookie and the Z core for this, but I couldn't find them. So I'll have to see if I can track those down. But yeah, I got some decent stuff around here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go performance sneakers. Best performance sneaker, whether it's Kyrie or Curry. The Kyrie's or Curry.
Oh man, have you played in the Curry 8s?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I-
The ones and the twos are bad.
To me, Kyrie was obviously kind of carrying that torch off of Kobe in terms of like the new trusted modern performance shoe.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody should go. I mean, that Curry 8, that new Flow Tech is pretty crazy. The grip's like, it's almost too much grip. It's crazy. So that's a toss up now. I would say maybe before the Kyrie's probably, but that new 8, the new Curry brand shoe, they did a good job.
All right, that's what's up, Curry. I gotta check out the mates now.
Yeah.
Best series, shoe series, LeBron's or KD's?
I'm gonna probably say LeBron's because I love the 2s. Like I think the LeBron 2 in the generation are some of the best hooping shoes ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also, you know, I went to University of Oregon. They had some PEs of the 2s. So I love the 1s and 2s. I love the design of the 4s. It was just like probably 2.5 times too heavy. And then the 7, 8, 9s was great too. And the 10 is one of the best shoes I played in. So as much as I love the KD 4, I don't know if you ever played in the KD 2, but the KD 2 is probably the best basketball shoe under $100 that ever happened. Like that's amazing shoe to play in.
Yeah.
They were $88. So the 2,
They were.
Yeah, the 2 and the 4 to me are awesome shoes. The 4 with all the colorways and themes like the Nerfs and Weathermans were amazing. But overall, I'm gonna probably have to give it to LeBron on that.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to pennies.
Yep.
This is the pack challenge.
Okay.
Sharpies or shooting stars? Which one are you going with?
I would go Sharpies because that's. But I have a crazy shooting star story for you. But I would go Sharpies because of the original story. You know, and that was just such a. You know, I think that was always the thing that made Nike so much fun and makes it so much fun as a fan to follow because the storytelling and like the original crazy stories you might not have known if you're new to it. Like that's always the most fun part. But the shooting stars, there was only one pair made in size 14. And I think so Penny called up Mark Dolce like a month before the celebrity game in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, like, I want you to make me something fresh for the celebrity game. It's like, I want to wear something crazy. And Dolce's like, well, shit, that's in a month. Like, you know, he's like, and he's like, I'll see what I can do. And so the game was on a Friday night. And like that Sunday or Monday before, a guy flew from Asia from the factory and brought the shooting stars to the Nike headquarters and got them made in time. And then Dolce had me shoot them for a story. And then Dolce flew from Nike or from Portland to Orlando and got in Friday afternoon and then drove straight to the game and hand delivered them to Penny for the game.
Oh!
So, and Dolce, I don't know. Well, he won't mind if I say this, but I was with him in the cab with the shoes, and we went to the Magic Arena thinking that's where the celebrity game was. And the actual venue that they played at was at the convention center, which was attached to his hotel.
So you had to go back?
We had to drive back, and that's why Penny wore him in the second half, because we got there with like 5 minutes left in the first half.
Damn, we got exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
So Penny got him like, 5 minutes left in the first half, which I was telling Dolce, I was like, man, you know what though? This is kind of cool because he wore the Galaxy foams the first half.
Yes, he did.
And then shooting stars the second half. So I was like, it was better in the end anyways, because for him to wear both was way more fun. And so it was funny because Dolce was like stressing out. He was like, shit, like I can't believe I didn't even check where the game was, and so we went to the wrong spot, backtrack, which was like 40 minutes of backtracking. And but that was one of those fun, like that was the thing that it was like everything was kind of the wild, wild west, like he was just doing a sample on the fly, and Penny wanted, and he was like, he told him exactly like the colorway he wanted. Because I don't know if you remember, but you know, there was like an old Beckett magazine that had the white black foams.
Yeah.
And Penny only wore them basically in the one game that photo is from.
Right.
And so when Penny was the one that gave him the idea for the shooting stars, he was like, make it a white base foam. And then I want some stars, like maybe it says Penny, but have some stars on it, like how the shooting shirts were that the Magic wore, you know? So that was like Mark the idea. And then Mark would like go and run with it and create something cool. And so that was how they worked. And that shooting stars was like a crazy on the fly shoe that they did in time.
Wow.
Like there's a really good photo of him shooting a free throw in them, and you know it was sick. So that was fun too, because he also wore the Galaxies, which, you know, Galaxy foams kind of took the Foamposites to a whole different trajectory from there. So that was a crazy weekend, right?
It crazy. Even I was such a fan of that game, that celebrity game. I got a custom-made one-of-one jersey of that All-Star game jersey.
Yeah.
I don't even think he has that jersey.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, man. But yo, amazing stories, man. Man, I thank you. Really, thank you for coming in your busy schedule, man, and doing this one. Give me some hand claps in the chat, please, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, Nick, you're amazing, man. You're amazing.
I pulled up. This is a Penny 3-part.
Woo!
Got like the zoom bag in there. This is the kind of stuff that like I always like checking out too. So this got like the unmolded foam, and then this was a shoe that I wanted to have in the pack that we didn't have.
Oh man!
But this is original black and blue Penny 4. So. And I love the Penny 4s, especially in like the black colorway. So, you know, I think that was the thing, was like, you know, at that time, sneaker culture was a lot of red colorways because of Mike. And a lot of the ways that the blues all popped, especially with that Orlando Magic colorway at the time. Like their jerseys were fresh, the shoes were fresh. So there was just something like youthful about it. That's what made it so much fun at the time.
That's what's up, man. Thank you again, man. Let's I'm gonna let you have the floor. Anything else you want to like to show before I let you promote your show? You know, I know you were like on episode 3, I think now.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. I mean, you know, I definitely mean this one for sure is my favorite joint. So, I see Ron Swag wants to battle. I don't know about that one, Ron.
No, he said who won the battle? Who
want
to battle him? Like nobody. I don't think nobody.
But that's the thing. I do always joke though, like, you know, I don't have any off-white ones. I don't have, you know, would maybe designate as like the heat or the hype stuff. But like for the stuff that I like, I have a lot of shoes that I think are really cool, and that's what it always should be. So I got a bunch of flights, a bunch of Zoom Flight 95s. Like I think that's, you know, certain Oregon samples because I went there. You know, that's what it's all about. So some of these, I've never done a sneaker battle because to me, the stuff that I think is the best might not be what everybody else is, and maybe that's not the point. So I think that's part of it. But no, this was fun, man. I mean,
thank you.
I was saying, you know, guys like Sneaker Dave, who it's weird. Like sometimes you know a guy for like 10, 12 years from Nike Talk or online. I did Chicago All-Star last February. You know, stuff like that, where this is always fun for me because talking to everybody that's as passionate about it as I am, or you know, just has different stuff that they I know they're making fun of Ron now. I feel bad. I wasn't trying to make fun.
No, I appreciate you even coming on, man, spreading the knowledge, man, and sharing your stories. This is sentimental to me because you actually brought one of my favorite kicks that I wore during my 8th grade year. And, bro, it's just a pleasure, man, to even have you on. Again, we might have to have you back on, man, in the near future or something, man. This is great. Shout out to Sneaker Dave. I'm going to definitely have him on the show as well, man. We got to work out some things or something, man. Get in schedule or something and then have him on. And great, man. This is what the sneaker community is all about, man. This is what, again, we all grew up on Nike Talk. You know, some of us OGs, man, we actually always wanted to, you know, talk about what we wanted and post up pictures and get information, sneaker releases. If someone couldn't get a release, we try to help him out and stuff like that. That's what it was all about. And I appreciate you guys, man, for even hanging out with us, man, in the chat. Episode 18 is coming to close. Don't forget he has a show, The Sneaker Game, if you would like to tell everyone about that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we just kicked it off on the Boardroom, so you can check that out on YouTube on Boardroom. I got the little link in my bio, so you could obviously go. That's probably easier. But the first episode was KD. The second episode was Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's just talking to all these guys about the big sneaker deal decisions they had, how they see themselves in the sneaker game and how they see their marketing and stuff coming to life and what they want to do going forward. So it's been fun. We just kicked it off, and I think that's always the best part about sneakers to me is like it's kind of a portal into the personality of all these different players. They got a certain place they're from. They got people close to them. They got things they care about, and they want to tell stories about all that. And a lot of times they do it through their shoes. And that's the best part about the last probably 10 years is it's not just shoes and the team colors anymore. It's like stuff that they really think about and themes they really work on. So that's been fun to see. And now that there's no color rules, you got guys wearing crazy stuff every night of the year. So it makes it.
Yeah. Oh man, thank you, man. Thanks again. Again, guys, check his other episodes out there on YouTube. No, your YouTube or your page, your IG page.
The Boardroom stuff's all on YouTube on the Boardroom page, and then a lot of the old ESPN stuff as well is on the ESPN YouTube. But yeah, and then we also have a show called Sneaker Center on ESPN Plus, and we had I want to say it's episode 3 is the Penny episode. So if you haven't checked that out, I actually went back to. This was the one from September of 2019, went back to Memphis and, got to chop it up with Penny about just coming full circle and coaching and obviously a sneaker legacy as well. So it's pretty fun.
That's what's up, man. All right, man. Thanks again for just coming in and just bringing all this heat, bro. This is like.
No, this was fun.
You raised the bar, man. A lot of people were saying I don't know how you're going to top this episode. Well. I got some things under my sleeve, bro.
No, I appreciate you having me on, man. This was great, and it's been cool to see all the comments along the way. I'm gonna try to read back through everything, but also for following along and listening in, and I more than anything, I think it's cool that we all appreciate Penny all these years later and have the same love for those sneakers. I got the Penny one, like old, telephone ad print out right in front of where I'm sitting. So
that's what's up, man.
So it's been cool to see everything as it's unfolded, and 25 years later, people still loving the shoes. So it's been awesome.
That's what's up, man. Well, we right back here next week, man. Next Tuesday, I'll have a brand new guest. Again, thank everybody for Nick, man, coming through, man, and hanging out with us for an hour. Man, I don't know, this is up there. This is probably the best episode so far, man. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Yeah, so everybody, man, please take care of yourself, take care of each other. Please, if you think positive, do positive, might have a positive outcome. We are out. Peace.